Hey everybody, welcome to The Warp. I'm Jack Reedy with Future Pastimes. In this video, I'm going to be looking at my 5 favorite yellow alert flares from Cosmic Odyssey. I've already done a video on the green alert 5, the link down there. So this is just 5 more, but it's from the yellow alert. There's a little over a dozen yellow alert aliens in Cosmic Odyssey, counting the alternate timeline aliens. But not really covering many of those flares in this series of videos because the wild flares for the alternate timeline aliens don't differ too much from the flares from the regular versions of those aliens. So let's look at what these yellow alert flares do and why I enjoy their effects. So our first one is for the alien Cosmos. And Cosmos is an alien. It can change the rules of the game and gets rewards when other people use the new rules. And it's an essence alien. So the wild flare for Cosmos is at the start of another player's turn, you may demand anything that that player can give you in a deal. So cards, mostly, or a colony. But if other things are in the game that you can deal with, like technology now and or space station, if they refuse for the rest of the encounter, you may zap their alien powers. And it says powers there because if you're playing with the dual aliens variant, you can zap both of those powers. And if they're using an alien that has additional powers, yeah, everything's fair game. At the end of the encounter, give this card to the Cosmos or discard it if the Cosmos is not playing. So it's extortion. That's really what it is. You're trying to get something that they could give you in a deal in order for them to be able to use their powers. So this is going to be a flare that can have devastating effects for somebody or just an annoyance. But they can wait. You're only going to get one use out of it. So they may wait until it's somebody that is really looking forward to using their power. So that's Cosmos. It's an interesting effect. Our next one on our list is for Extractor. Now, Extractor is an alien that can displace ships on the targeted planet and move them somewhere else. So the wild effect is when another player collects compensation after they have taken the card or cards, but before they add them to their hand, add this card to those cards and shuffle them. Draw 2 of them at random and return any remaining cards to that player. So it's a little bit of a switcheroo. Somebody is about to get some compensation, but you are going to extract a couple of cards from them. And this flare could be one of them. You could end up extracting it back. Otherwise, they'll get it, and they may get to use it themselves. So I like those flare effects that move the flare card around. It doesn't always go to the alien that matches it, but flares that can wind up in other players' hands. Those effects interest me. Our next one is for Gremlins. So far, all these aliens have been new aliens to Cosmic Encounter with this expansion. So the Gremlin is the alien in this set that uses the Hazard deck. And Cosmic Odyssey comes with its own Hazard deck, enough that you can play with Hazard. So if you don't have the Hazard deck from Cosmic Conflict, Odyssey provides one. And if you do have it, you can, of course, combine them. So the wild flare effect for the Gremlin is after your color is drawn from Destiny, if you are not the offense, force the offense to discard their hand, draw a new one, and continue their turn. So again, this is one of those flares that sometimes it will have a fairly negligible effect. It may force somebody to get rid of 1 or 2 good cards. They could end up getting really good cards, but for some players who may be cultivating a really big and powerful hand. They may have a lot of rewards. They may even have some ultra rewards. This Gremlin card can really rain on their parade. So it's kind of an equalizer. It's a balancing effect. And there's not a lot of those in Cosmic Encounter. So I think it's nice to have something like that in there. It can help somebody out, too, in a bind. So they may have lousy cards. and you say, well, I can help you out. You may be inadvertently helping them out, though. So keep that in mind. Number 4 is Lemming. So Lemming is an alien that wants to have a lot of ships in the warp, because they get 9 ships in the warp. They get to move a bunch of them out and establish a foreign colony. The wild effect, though, is during your regroup phase, so when you're the offense, when you retrieve a ship from the warp, you may place it on any planet where all players have a colony except for you and the planet's owner. So let's say that there's a planet in the green system and everybody has a colony there except you and green. Now you get to get a ship out, boom, and get a foreign colony. So you could win the game with something like this if they didn't invite you into that encounter. So you have this flare. It might be a good idea to join the defense, especially if everyone else is allied with the offense. Maybe you get some reward cards, and if you don't, you're going to have some ships in the warp, and when your turn comes around, you can lemming one of them into that planet. And then finally, we have Witch. So Witch is an alien that's been published before for Cosmic Encounter. It was an original Eon alien. It was also in the Mayfair edition. And so this effect is in line with the original effect, but it's one that I always liked. Not super powerful, not very fancy. You can use your power even if you have fewer than the required number of home colonies. So it comes time to use your power. No one's expecting you to be able to use it because you've lost so many of your home colonies. You play the flare and you say, you know what? I am using it. So a nice little surprise there, especially for people who may have gone out of their way to attack you and try to get you to lose your alien power. It can be very handy. Certainly if that's not you, this is a flare that's not going to do you any good at all. But that's the nature of flares. There's some that can be used quite frequently. There are some that are very niche in terms of when they can be leveraged. So I like that quality to the flare cards. I like that they're kind of all over the place in terms of what they can do or how effective and how powerful they are. Some are certainly very situational. So let me know what you think of these flares, if you've used them effectively. Let's hear about it. If you have questions about them, let me know in the comments. If you've been playing Odyssey and have played with some of the Yellow Alert aliens and their flares, are there some that you like better than those 5? Certainly chime in with that as well. And we'll do the Red Alert one later this week. So that's it for this video. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.